March is Women's History Month, and the Xfinity editorial team joined forces to create an incredible celebration of women in TV, film, music, gaming, and much more. And Kayla is here to tell us all about it. Kayla?
I am. So we are celebrating Women's History Month in a huge way on our platforms with so many special collections honoring the achievements and the greatness of women. As you mentioned, as David mentioned, there are collections for women who inspire us, TV's fiercest females, with the cover art being Killing Eve, which is one of my favorite shows. Women in music, phenomenal Black women, women in gaming, and just so much more. There's so much to explore here. There are also multiple rows of, our favorite films directed by women, TV shows with strong female leads, inspiring documentaries, and the list just goes on and on and on. And I think what impresses me the most is every year this collection seems to get bigger and bigger and bigger. There's always something else to add to it, which means that women are just, bringing everything to the table every single year. So if you want to check this expansive collection out on demand, just say Women's History Month into your X1 voice remote.
Yeah, and Audrey, I think you have a particular favorite section or collection or something you'd like to point out in this collection?
Yeah, so in the Women in Music section, it includes things like Today's Stars, Pioneers, Trailblazers, Anthems. It's broken up by genre. It's a really great collection that Kwam built. And in particular, there's a Legends Through the Decades row. So it's everything from the 70s to the 2000s. And I would like to focus on the 90s, and specifically Mariah Carey's Daydream album, which you guys see here on screen, because 90s music to me was Mariah Carey, right? Like it was just hit after hit after hit. So Daydream came out in 1995. It was her 5th studio album. And it was a follow-up to Music Box, obviously, and her holiday album, Merry Christmas. Sold over 20 million copies worldwide, which makes it one of the best-selling albums of all time, which is just bananas. Globally, a huge success as well, like topping the charts in 9 countries. I think everyone knows like every song on here, but just to name a few: Fantasy, One Sweet Day, Open Arms. My personal favorite, Always Be My Baby, is like still such a jam. So when I saw that Kwam actually curated this destination because it's music, I just want to give him some props for picking Mariah for like the leading lady of the 90s, because I think that's like totally spot on. And I don't listen to Mariah enough anymore. So it really made me want to like go back and explore. So do you guys agree? Best album by Mariah, thoughts?
Love Mariah. I definitely think she was the staple, and she's still making music. Like she's still relevant today. She's just always there. I love that about her.
Yeah, I think Kayla made the comment earlier when we were doing our show run through that like, oh, that album's iconic. Like that picture of Mariah, like who hasn't seen that a million times going through Spotify or I'm Apple Music or just like have that image in their mind as like representative of Mariah Carey as an artist, because you're right. This was like a no skip album, like classic after classic on this one.
Yeah,
for sure.
And for some reason, it's just always like happy to me, even though obviously like One Sweet Day with Boyz II Men is like not a happy song. But when I think of Mariah Carey, I'm just like, it makes me smile. Like I think of the upbeat songs because those are really my jam. And yeah, this album was just it for me. So
yeah,
Kayla.
And like, oh.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I've been so ready
David.
to talk more Mariah. No.
Oh,
I
okay.
want to talk more Mariah.
Bring it.
More Mariah. Because
more Mariah.
When you talk about like memories, like Always Be My Baby, like you even see the music videos when you hear the songs. And I think like Always Be My Baby, I think she was on like a swing that was swinging out over water or something at that time. And I remember like even like I had a crush on a girl in like 6th grade that like I remember hearing that song and made me think of her. And I go back and like remember like we went to like a summer camp. I was on like a field trip, and that song just, and the lake with her swinging made me think of the lake at the camp and the girl that I liked. It was just all like
Oh my
so part
gosh.
of my teenage years.
Okay, since
I
we're
love
going
how
deep,
music
I
just
will yeah. I will
music
say I
makes
wasn't going
you
to share
it brings
this.
back all the memories. It's so magical.
It
Yeah.
is. So that song is like my elementary school boyfriend. Like I remember so vividly, we broke up and I was like so devastated and crying. And I was like, I can't go to school, Mom. And it was like, I don't know, 7th grade. And I remember with my Walkman, just like sitting with the like tape, and I don't know if it was a Walkman or a Discman. Walkman probably is like really dating it. Maybe it was a Discman. Who knows? But I just remember having that and just like on repeat, like rewind to beginning of the track, beginning of the track, beginning of the track, and just listening to it and like sobbing because I was like, this was our song. And to this day, that was like 25 years ago, like Buffy. Just wild.
He wasn't always your baby.
He was not any longer my baby. No.
Kayla, tell us a little bit about your favorite collection or piece of the Women's History Month curation.
Absolutely. I decided to go with TV shows that were created by Black women and came from that mind. So my first pick was Queen Sugar. A little bit of a hidden gem. You probably heard of it. There are 6 seasons right now. But it was created by one of my all-time faves, Ava DuVernay. And it tells the story of the estranged Bordelon siblings in a small town of St. Joe, Louisiana. At the center of the family are Nova, who's a journalist, Charlie, who's a wife of an NBA player, and a formerly incarcerated Ralph Angel, who's the baby of the bunch. And he's searching for redemption. And following a tragedy, they have to put their complicated lives aside so they can come together and help their family's struggling sugarcane farm. This show is it's just gorgeous. And what I mean by that is that it's shot so beautifully. I don't think I've ever seen a show more beautifully shot, and just the pictures. And maybe it's because it's in Louisiana and you see the vast fields and just the small town feel. I just love it. But I expect nothing less from Ava. The series just entered production for its 7th and final season. I couldn't be more excited, more sad, more all the feels. I'm feeling all the feels right now for that. But that's my first pick. And then my second pick is a Black lady sketch show. And this masterpiece was created by Robin Thede. And it takes you into a world unlike any other. This is a one-of-a-kind sketch show. It's hilarious, and it's also notable for its numerous firsts. It has the first all-Black women's writers' room, the first Black woman sketch director, and the first sketch series cast composed entirely of Black women. The show touches on culturally relevant themes such as social norms, anxiety, dating, relationships. And each episode has 5 to 6 sketches and features guest stars such as Angela Bassett, another fave of mine, Laverne Cox, Issa Rae, Kelly Rowland, and so many others. The show was recently renewed for a 3rd season by HBO, so I'm super excited about that, and I can't wait to see where it takes us.
I love a Black lady sketch show. I think all of us
really
do.
Good. It's
yeah,
amazing.
It's amazing. And you mentioned
Was
like
there
Queen Sugar being shot beautifully. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, all I was going to say is I haven't watched Queen Sugar actually, but that key art is like very striking. So I imagine that like the whole series is just like that.
Stunning. Yes.
Kayla, you mentioned all the guest stars, but wasn't Patti LaBelle in an episode?
She was, and she sang. It was so amazing.
So good. One of the best episodes.
Yes.
One of my favorite TV moments, I think, from the year that came out as well. So
yes, I think that was in the first season. I was like, how did you get Patti LaBelle to come on your show?
It's just so impressive. And they did a whole, I think, a Pose, like a spoof of Pose, where they uttered the phrase Eeyore and Dior, which Scott and I still use today, which is just so funny. I second your recommendation.
It's great. Yes, yes, they're amazing.
So one of my favorite sections or rows within the Women's History Month collection focuses on films directed by women. Now, according to a Variety report, 2020 boasted a record number of films directed by women. Unfortunately, the number of female-directed movies in the top 100 most popular films at the box office is down 4% from the prior year. But what is the silver lining in all of this? Two of this year's biggest award season contenders, Netflix original movies entitled The Power of the Dog and The Lost Daughter, are directed by women. In fact, The Power of the Dog is the most nominated film at the 2022 Oscars with a total of 12 nominations, including a Best Picture nomination and Best Director nomination for filmmaker Jane Campion. The Lost Daughter also earned 3 Oscar nominations, including a nod for director Maggie Gyllenhaal in the Best Adapted Screenplay category. And according to that Variety report, Hollywood has made some modest progress with a 23% increase of women in behind-the-scenes roles, such as writers, producers, editors, and cinematographers. But 80% of films still don't have women in the role of director. So go support these films directed by women and send studios the message that we want equality at the very top. And I think we all got really excited when Chloe Zhao won the best director Oscar for Nomadland, which was amazing. And then she got the job directing The Eternals for Marvel, which was really exciting. But there's still a long way to go. And if you're going to start anywhere, start with these two really incredible movies. The Power of the Dog is the favorite. So support it. Nomadland and Eternals is also in this row. Go explore. There's so much to see there, and hopefully that 80% starts to decrease a little bit, and we see a nice even split. Because we need diversity in storytelling. I don't need to tell you. We all know that. Like,
we all know that. Yeah, we're getting it. We're getting there. We really are. On my watch list is definitely The Lost Daughter. It's a psychological drama, I believe. I love anything that kind of gets in your head and just makes you think differently about certain things. And you guys know I love thrillers and things like that. So
yeah. Olivia Colman's just amazing in everything. So like, it's just bound to be phenomenal.
She does not miss for some reason. Mm-hmm. Like, you put Olivia Colman in something, and at this point, you're almost guaranteed an Oscar for your movie because she just is that beloved right now. She's just doing it.
What a reputation!
So you can So you can explore the full Women's History Month collection by saying Women's History Month into your voice remote.